Hi, everyone. We have with us today Micheline Richard from Alliance Carrière Travail. Thank you, Micheline, for being with us. What we try to do sometimes is make sure that our community members, our students, know of the services that are available to them. So we're very happy that you decided to talk with us a little bit about what you can do for the community at large. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Chuck. I'm really excited about being here today.
Excellent. So let's start it off right away, right? Alliance Carrière Travail, Centre de service de Châteauguay. What and who is Alliance Carrière Travail? Let's start with that.
Well, basically, it stems from a merger between three different organizations, two of which are more east in Brassard and Saint-Hubert, which is SVIM, which is basically a service for immigrants, and the CGE Lapinière, which is catering more to a younger generation. So a younger population. And then, of course, what used to be called the Job Search Club or Club de Recherche d'Emploi makes the third party. So about 3 years ago, we got together, but all of which have been, doing this for many, many years. I think we accumulated about 60 years together. Basically, our role is to assist a job seeker in their process. So, and this, when I say this, it's really extended because it could be someone who's just coming out of school, someone who's been off the job market for a long time. It could be an artist who's wanting to get into their field. It could be someone who's needing more assistance, with issues that go beyond perhaps the job search. We won't necessarily counsel them, but we're equipped to be able to identify certain situations and help them get the need they require. So all that to say, in that process, it could be something like doing a resume, helping them with an interview, or go further and really teach them how to approach an employer, how to make those first calls, how to make them feel equivalent to an employer, because often there's that feeling of lesser than. So it's all that whole, if you wish, psychology behind job search. But obviously not everybody lands back onto the job market. So you have those that when they sort of rediscover themselves or discover themselves, find out that maybe they need to be more equipped. So they go back to school. So that's also an option. So it's really wide ranged. And the fun part too is that we're linked with various employers, which is part of my job as well, where I will help, a job seeker connect with an employer. So but not to be mistaken with an agency though, a placement agency, because what we do is we also, once we give the information to the employer of the potential candidate, they get to do what they want with them. Meaning like they call them, they do whatever's necessary. We don't do that aspect of it. We can, but that's not part of our mandate. But I will follow up for at least 6 weeks afterwards. So as you can see, it's really wide ranged. And most people don't know we exist because we are a nonprofit.
Well, and that's part of why we're doing this too, right? Is that There are a lot of always services that are out there, bilingual services too. That's something also, if you could touch on, there's French and English services that are available if you're more comfortable in one language or the other. And so what does the career transition program really consist of? If you could walk us through it maybe a little bit.
Well, that's a program that's been around for quite a while. And with this pandemic, I feel it's really important to bring it to the forefront because many people are in this situation right now where it's like, what do I do now? I was in a field that is almost obsolete right now. And so I need to, rediscover myself, or you're just at that point in your life where you need to maybe look at other options. So basically it's a 3-week program where before the pandemic, it used to be full days, but we switched it to half days because it's very difficult, as we all know, this whole virtual reality, doing it a full day. So 3-week program where the first week basically is to take the time to assess who we are. Going within, discovering the values or rediscovering values, aptitudes, likes, dislikes, and sometimes it can be a bit uncomfortable because, having to look at ourselves, sometimes we're not sure what we're going to find, and it can be scary, but because these counselors are very well equipped. And so you're you're properly accompanied through this process. In the second week, it becomes more about seeing what's out there, what's on the market, what can I do? Where do I want to go? And then finally, in the third week, it's doing the mechanics to get onto the job force. So it's all the different aspects, the CV and the interviews and all that fun stuff. Now, not everybody can turn it around within 3 weeks. Probably most people can, but it begins the process. And the fun part is, once again, you're followed up for at least a year following this program. So again, it could be, the situation can land up where someone goes back to school, which is why you and I are speaking, because that's an option. But again, because people are being followed up with for, I think it's 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, and then a year. So that the participant doesn't feel just sort of thrown out into the world again and, oh my God, what do I do? So there's this kind of accompaniment that helps within the process.
From what you've just described, I could see so many different people would be finding themselves in that situation. That must resonate with all kinds of different ages, different backgrounds, and different territories where you live. So could you maybe, if someone heard all this and said, this is what I need to make sure that they fit into the criteria, who are the services really intended for? Could you give us kind of a little snapshot of that?
Sure. Well, it's designed for 35 and over. Okay, because the whole point of it is usually when people get to around that age, that's when things start to change a little bit. And also it's our mandate, because we are subsidized by Service Quebec. So we kind of, our hands are tied. We have an agreement with them. However, I'm aware that, we have people who are younger who are going through this process. So we're based on territories, okay? So like we said earlier, I'm in Chateauguay. So my territory extends all the way to La Prairie, right out to Napierville. So
like the Roussillon area, a little bit.
Roussillon and Jardin Napierville. So those are basically, that's the territory for this service center and that program. So however, I'm aware that people, for instance, people have to reside in that territory for us to be able to service them. So I'm thinking, if someone is from, for instance, Brassard, because we're linked with what's called the CGA, or the Carrefour Jeunesse, or portion of our services, someone who's much younger, who's experiencing that same kind of challenge, can knock on the door at our office in Brassard and get a different type of program, but that resembles this, where there's, guidance counseling and that kind of stuff. So, there's stuff for everybody, and also depends on where they live. So,
and if it was someone, say for our territory, for a school board, we do that area, but then we go to what they call the Chateauguay Valley, Haut-Saint-Laurent, and Valleyfield. Even if it's not necessarily a territory that you guys may be able to service, if someone were to contact you, are you guys able sometimes to refer them to maybe an entity from that area who could help them look for that
Absolutely.
type of services? Okay, so just
want
to be
really
sure.
Good question, actually, because unlike, for instance, the private industry where there's competition. No, there's sometimes healthy competitions between organizations, which is normal. But our mandate is to help the job seekers. So if we can't help them, we'll make sure to find the person that can. And I have contacts in Montreal, and on a good portion of the Montérégie. So it's we never leave them hanging, or we try not to leave them hanging.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then the people can see on the screen there, I put the telephone number and the website, and you also have social media kind of pages,
Yes.
Stuff on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. And just final comments. A lot of people are trying to reinvent themselves by choice, sometimes not by choice. Is there any last things you could say? I know it's sometimes hard to reach out to an organization that you've maybe never heard about, and it's for the first time, but part of why we're talking, Micheline, is that people get to see a face and see that, if you call or you contact someone on the other line can help them maybe in the language of their choice first and help them find a solution, right? So what I like to tell people is take that leap of faith, because maybe the answers are right there, right? So is there anything else you'd like to just say to anyone who could contemplate calling you?
Yes, absolutely. One of my, there's an expression, life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. I was 48 when I did a 180 with my own career. I was petrified. I'm single mom with a young boy. The thinking, oh my God, if I do this, what if I fail? I discovered I would have failed had I not tried. So the good news is this is free. So people have nothing to lose except, a fabulous opportunity to discover something beyond their wildest dreams. And I know it sounds pretty hokey in the way of saying this, but I honestly feel like I really started living when I did this for myself. So I think it's worth trying. It's a phone call away. So.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Lynn. I really appreciate taking the time just to kind of explain, the services that are available and that there is help out there for those who might find them in this situation. So I really want to, on behalf of all the people of our territory, the students, their families, and our community members, thank you very much for being with us. All right.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.